Why do y'all think that there are women out here who hate their baby fathers? Why do y'all think that is? And the reason why they hate their baby fathers is because he's everything that she claims she doesn't want. He's everything that she claims she doesn't want. And she has a kid with this guy. She's attached to him for 18 years. Now she wants to erase that mistake by the men she dates, her whole attitude adjustment. Maybe it's where she lives, but she's always going to have that kid who's going to remind her of him. You know? To the point to where she may even take her frustrations out on that kid. So the bulk of the people who are going to be critical of, these guys being too confident in themselves are going to be the ones who dated the guys who they say are dusty. The guys they say that don't want commitment, don't want marriage. It ain't even got to be them being baby mom. It could be their ex-boyfriends that they wasted years of their life on. Shout out to Chief Rocker, because the cat didn't marry them. Yeah, I don't have my because I'm on a different channel. I'm actually on a different computer. I don't have my effects. But when I stream back on Jaye Black live streams too, I'll have all my effects. But I don't have the effects, so y'all won't hear my assistant basically saying basically word for word what y'all say. But y'all can go subscribe to the live stream channel, okay? Yeah, why do y'all think the baby ain't even been born yet and they already have a disdain towards the baby father? But go back and forth to him because it's comfortable. Who we date is a reflection of us. Who we walk around with, hold hands with, take around our family, our friends, they are a reflection of who we are. So if you're a woman, right, who's educated, who has a good job, you make a lot of money, and you are dating a guy who is nowhere near you socially, economically, y'all don't even have the same values, you just like the way he looks. He fits one criteria that you have, and that overshadows all the other things that you could be looking for. I'm going to do a video on Angela Simmons because Angela Simmons is talking about all this criteria that she has for men now that she's a single mother. And now that her dating life is sort of in a ditch, right? And it's like, how many times are you going to be dating this type of guy? Like, because he has the only criteria to you that counts, which is how they look, you overlook everything else. Or how good the D is, because obviously something has to convince you that this guy is worth dating. Something has to convince you that this guy is worth having a kid with. And the thing is that you have women that will say that they're not easily impressed, but they actually are easily impressed. If you can knock her down, no, they're not. Well, that's choice of words. If you can impress her in the bedroom, you can probably impress her in anything. She will take up for you. She will defend you to family and friends who claims that she could do better because you've impressed her in the only ways that matter. And if you got really good game and you can get inside a woman's head, it don't matter how intelligent she believes that she is, she's going to fall for whatever you're saying. Okay? Now, it's interesting that you brought that up, Supernova. No matter if these people date out or not, they end up looking back and hopping right back over that fence. We've seen it. I've seen numerous amounts, especially of the females. They will go and they will date out and they will hop right back over that fence because they think that dating another race of men is going to change anything. It's really not, because you have to understand that there are men of other races who have the same thoughts that we do. in regards to women in society. When I first started making videos, shout out to Chief Rocka, appreciate that, man. Says, bro, real talk, a lot of men with good backgrounds have become baby daddies out of deceit and trickery. That's why you have a lot of sisters in their 30s and 40s who are purposely foregoing birth control without informing their boyfriend. Yes, that is happening, Chief. That is happening, Chief. But people will deny that. They will deny that, Chief, because it's only us as men who are making these women get pregnant. We tell them we want a kid, even though everybody else is telling them, don't you do it. You know? They tell them, don't you do that. And they do it anyway, you know? Shout out to everybody that's here, man. Make sure y'all like the stream. I know this is impromptu. I'm still live streaming on my Jada Black Live Streams 2 channel. I got the link in the description, and I'm putting it in the chat here. Again, there's no moderators over here. This is just a one-time show. You may not see another show for maybe a couple months, maybe a couple weeks, depending on how this goes. But as I was saying, like, you have a lot of non-melanated men who are going their own way. You have a lot of non-melanated men who are red-pilled. When I first started making videos, it was a lot of Caucasian male content creators. I was one of a few that were black that were actually speaking on the going your own way, red pill topics. There wasn't a lot of us in those particular areas. There may have been some that I don't know of, or there may have been some that were there that I didn't, that may have been making content here and there. But there was, especially from Canada, a lot of those Caucasian males from Canada, they were making a lot of videos because they were dealing with feminism. They were dealing with what we're dealing with in America now. I think they've been dealing with for a while. So that mindset there with the women there is crazy. You know, just look who the prime minister is, his ideals. So to act like we as melanated, black men, we're the only ones who think and believe certain things. It's not accurate. It's not accurate at all. Go to the some of these manosphere channels, these MGTOW channels, and look who's there, and look at what they're talking about. They view all women the same way. They're not saying, well, I'm going to hop the fence and I'm going to date a sister. None of them are saying that. As a matter of fact, there was this one guy years ago, I saw his video. He made a video of how he dated a black female and he never dated another black female again. Now, maybe he dated some up until that point and just said no more. But I believe he was going his own way. And he was not going his own way to any of these black women. So we can't deal with people just because they're a different group of people. We have to deal with people because of who they are as individuals. But we have this collective mentality that, if something doesn't work, that you just hop the fence and everything is going to be all better. I mean, it may be that way. Or maybe it was all in your head the whole time, but you just did not want to submit to that brother, but you're willing to submit to Bob. Okay? You won't submit to Gerard, but you will submit to Bob. You will submit to Bob, but you won't submit to Gerard. But that's just how it is. I think it's a lot of times it's in their head. If they've already made their mind up that they want nothing to do with you, or they don't see you worth committing to, it's never gonna happen. Once a woman makes her mind up, that's her mindset, man. It's gonna take a lot for you to change it. Like the women who say that they're gonna level up and it never happens is because it was all in their mind. They don't want to level up if it costs them to have to deal with somebody who may not fit their looks department, their swag department. But if he's another race, then they'll do that because he's another race. He's expected to be a husband. He's expected to provide and protect, But that's a lot of these Caucasian women that, there's a like this civil rivalry that's in the white community that nobody's talking about, But I'll talk about it if asked, you know. If I'm asked, I'll talk about it. You know. Now, I want y'all to understand, I'm not here to tell y'all who y'all should date, man. Date whoever you want as long as you're happy, you know. As long as you're happy, date who you want. I'm not here to judge you, tell you who you should be with, but I just want you to understand that, you know, you don't have to be upset at other people for being confident. You should want a man who is confident, not a loser, not weak, not lame, not fake confident, because you do have a lot of fake confident guys out here who are braggadocious with nothing to back it up. It's all just a facade, you know. Why wouldn't a woman want a guy who's confident and is happy about where they are, you know? You should want a guy who's confident and say, you know what, I am the prize. Because every woman deep down wants to have to work for the guy that they want. They want to clamor for his attention and his affection and, you know, for his validation. They're not going to say it because they've been conditioned to want a weak, inferior male. They've been conditioned to seek these guys who do as they say and not necessarily be leaders. Because in our society, we frown upon male leaders. This is why a lot of these women are at the forefront of action movies, because action movies have long been a show of male masculinity. But what they want to do, just like with every other, you know, male, I don't say male dominated, but, you know, an area that is popular by males, whether it be sports or gaming, you know, women are all over it. In the media and in movies and TV, they want to highlight that women can be strong too. Women can fight crime. You know, women can be just as masculine as men. What man wants a masculine woman? I'll wait. What man wants a woman who flexes her muscles just as much as he does? What man wants to deal with a woman who is going to be argumentative, who is going to be problematic, opinionated? Who wants to deal with that? Not saying a woman has to be a pushover, but you need to have a balance of sticking up for yourself, having an opinion, and being feminine. But there are women who can't have that balance because they've been raised wrong. They have bought into the conditioning that is keeping them single. They think that it's cool to, you know, to sleep with different men. Look at Meg Thee Stallion. Look at how many dudes she's around. Now, whether she's sleeping with them or not is not the particular point of this conversation. But she always tries to make it seem like she's a player. Okay, as a female, come on now. As a female, why would you want to try to emulate what you see men do? Because all it takes is a slip up for you to become a single mother. And trust and believe, if Meg Thee Stallion slips up and gets pregnant, she raising it by herself. Because she'll just be another masculine female who's raising kids on her own. We got plenty of them out here already. Point them out, you know? So, again, we are at this point to where the conditioning and programming has gotten these women thinking one way and feeling another. This is why, you know, there are certain guys who can get a bunch of women because they understand a woman. They understand how to approach her, how to speak to her, how to really reach her, and others don't because they understand who that woman is more than she understands herself. Shout out to JoJo Sigma. These women preach level up but never show proof because there is no proof. You know, that's why they all flock to some of these channels where they're talking about leveling up because they've never leveled up. You know, a lot of these level up women are middle-aged, single. You know, their kids aren't in the house anymore. They don't have a man. They don't have a look to where they can just walk into a club and get attention. So they have to find ways of trying to get a man. You know, because a lot of these people are antisocial. You know, they don't have any social skills. You know, you see them, you say hey to them, and they just keep walking, or they'll look at you crazy because they don't have any social skills. I see women with no social skills every single day. So I'm trying to figure out how they're in a functional relationship when they have no social skills. If men need to have social skills, I think women should as well. Now, doesn't mean that you have to stop to have a conversation, but if I can read your body language and tell that you don't have any social skills, that you seem to be somebody who is very closed off, very closed-minded, who's going to want to approach you? Who's going to want to date you? The only men that she's going to be dealing with is the men that she's dealt with her entire life. Those same ain't shit men she's been running from. Those same men she's been running from, those are who she going to have to deal with. You know? But shout out to everybody that's here, man. That's coming into the chat, impromptu stream. Shout out to everybody. But make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the live stream channel. This is just a random one off. I may do more of them. Just depend on how this one goes. Yeah, man. But I'm sick of these heifers sitting up here talking about how, men who are confident, they don't like that. They think it's arrogant for a guy to brag about, what he's accomplished. It just shows you their mindset. They can't stand a confident black male who don't need them for anything,